Y'all, first of all, I feel so bad for Becky. She did not want to rent a Tesla, okay? She is taking her daughter on a college tour. They flew into the airport, and Hertz Rental said this was all they had left. Now, she did not know about driving an electric vehicle. They did not show her. They did not give her an adapter to charge the car with. And the car wasn't even charged, nor did they tell her that there was a manual latch in case the power went out on the car, which is what happened. They wound up being stuck at night on the side of a dark road, y'all. Her phone was dead. Her daughter's phone was almost dead. Thankfully, they had their laptop there with them, and they were able to charge her daughter's phone long enough to call the tow truck because they tried to reach Hertz roadside, and guess what? Nobody answered. Okay, so the tow truck driver came and showed her how to crawl out the trunk to get the car open and took them to a hotel. Then she paid a maintenance man at the hotel to take them around the state for her daughter's college tour. After all that, Hertz wanted money, y'all. And they threatened to sue her and put her on the do not rent list. That's when she called the news, and the news came through and got her money and an apology.
My first choice.
Becky Liebau from
Becky.
the village of Gurnee was taking her youngest daughter on a trip to see several colleges around the country.
The intent was to fly in to certain locations, drive to another school, and get in as many as we could.
And it turned into a nightmare.
It was quite a disaster.
A disaster that started the moment she found out Hertz did not have the regular gas-powered sedan she reserved. When she showed up at the Hertz rental counter, they told her they were overbooked, and all they had left was an electric vehicle.
He said, the only thing I have is a Tesla. Otherwise, we have nothing here. Do you want to take this Tesla?
It was closing time. She was stranded, desperate, and took the Tesla.
Did you even know what to do with an electric vehicle?
Definitely not. No. No.
Nobody explained to you how to operate the car?
No. My daughter was using her phone to Google how to basically operate the car overall.
Becky says the car wasn't even ready for the road. The tires needed air, and she soon learned the battery was less than halfway charged.
I know it had 90 some miles, and that was it.
She was mostly in rural areas and couldn't find any Tesla charging stations. She found other types of charging stations requiring an adapter like this one, but Hertz never gave her one.
So they rented you an electric vehicle and they didn't give you the proper adapter?
Correct. There was no adapter.
As they searched for a place to charge, the car went completely dead.
What happens when a Tesla battery goes completely dead?
Well, we learned that everything shuts down on it.
The vehicle even locks itself. Here are pictures of the car that night on the side of the road, broken down.
You were basically trapped in the car.
Yes. We go to open the doors, and the car will not open. The doors were locked.
Stuck inside, she called the Hertz roadside assistance for help, but nobody arrived.
I did not feel like Hertz helped us at all in this situation.
So Hertz never did send out a tow truck?
Correct.
And with no battery power, their cell phones were also about to go dead.
So you're in the car, and what's happening?
Pretty desperate. My daughter, her phone either had died or was starting to die.
Using the battery power from a laptop in their luggage, they were able to charge one cell phone enough to find and call a tow truck driver on their own.
Set the scene for me. You and your daughter on a road, locked in a car.
We were terrified, and we couldn't get out of the car. Nothing works in the vehicle at all. You couldn't turn lights on. There was no functionality.
And listen to what happens next. The tow truck driver had to help rescue them by telling them how to escape.
In the end, I ended up having to crawl out through the trunk, and he told me about the release button in the back.
You heard that right. She had no other choice but to search for the emergency release button in the dark and to crawl through the trunk to get out. And then the tow truck driver ended up driving them to safety at a nearby hotel. There were no Ubers or taxis. The next morning, she ended up paying the hotel maintenance guy to drive them across the state. As bad as it all was, the Hertz bill made it even worse.
So this whole nightmare was going to cost you over $1,000.
Correct. And then I started getting monthly invoices from Hertz.
Hertz was threatening you to take you to collection.
Well, they did call collection.
She refused to pay. So the company took further action.
And then I got a letter from them a couple days later saying I would no longer be able to rent from Hertz, and I was forbidden. I would never be able to get a vehicle.
The do not rent list.
Correct.
That's when she turned to the CBS 2 investigators for help. Hertz quickly did an about-face and refunded all the money she lost.
Hertz didn't apologize to you and give you your money back until I called.
Correct. Not at all.
What feelings did this whole experience leave you with?
Extremely frustrated that, here what was supposed to be a fun visit turned out to be quite scary, knowing any number of things could have happened along the way.
In a phone call, a Hertz spokesperson apologized for Becky Liebau's experience and admitted a number of things went wrong, including sending her out without an adapter. Adapters can cost a few $100, and a spokesperson says they often go missing and are even targeted by thieves.